Okay, Ira, you can be a main character. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince the Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 8 of Dan. And interestingly enough, this almost didn't happen today. Because, to just put it simply, there's been issues that have left me unable to record. More info in the Discord if you want to know. But yeah, I've just been left unable to record, and luckily it looks like it's getting resolved. But I almost wasn't able to record today either, but then, the circumstances aligned. So we're getting this done. Last we left off, we had the episode. Like, most anime, and I'd say most shows in general, have like that episode that really seals the deal for people. And episode 7 was absolutely it. Not only did it seal the deal for a lot of fans who are already into the series, making them like just that much more confirmed that they really love this, but it got a lot of like holdouts attention. A lot of people who are holding out, waiting to see like what people thought of the series before they checked it out. This episode got their attention too, because this episode is not only being praised by fans, not only manga readers and anime onlys alike, but it's getting widespread attention from like ranking sites and whatnot. It's got like one of the highest episode rankings of the year, if not like generally speaking. It's that good. And the fact that it's getting such widespread praise from pretty much everyone showcases not just how well it was written, like in the original context of the manga and everything, but how well it was adapted. Like, even manga fans who are usually very hardcore into the manga is better than the anime side of things, even a lot of them are saying, it's like, okay, in this case, the anime is better. It adapted it so well. A lot of these manga readers are saying that it actually improved on certain aspects. And from what I've heard, the only thing that the manga does better is makes it more clear on one scene. Well, actually, kind of two. First, when, I'm going to call her Acrobatic Silky because we never learned her real name. When we learned that Silky, had lost her daughter and everything in the backstory, when she's doing that dance, it's not clear in the anime, at least for me and some others it wasn't, that she was on a rooftop, and when the camera started like angling and it like speeding up, that she had jumped off the roof, that she had committed suicide because of her daughter being taken and possibly killed, and the fact that she couldn't get back to her and find her and everything. That was apparently a lot more clear in the manga. I've seen scans and stuff, and it's actually very clear what happened in there. But in the anime, like, they made it look gorgeous. But, like, when she's, like, dancing on the roof and everything, it's like, if you really, really squint, you can view the background as, like, oh, that's supposed to be a cityscape. It's like, if you really squint, you can maybe come up with that. But, like, on first glance, it just looks like a pretty background. And there's nothing to, like, hint that she's on a rooftop at all. It doesn't present itself that way. It's artistically changed. And the part where, again, it starts, like, angling the shot of her head, and it starts speeding downwards. Then it shows like the flashes of her and her daughter before hitting that splat sound. One, I didn't entirely notice the splat sound when I was reacting because I was just devastated already. But also, it's like that's a very, very subtle way of expressing what happened. And again, from reading the manga, it was much more direct in there. The second thing is that the manga apparently makes it clear that the daughter is dead. Because it's like it shows them like together when Ira's talking about like I wish they'll find a happier world together and everything. Um, in the manga, apparently it shows them together in a manner that makes it very clear that they've reunited after death. And considering the girl is still a young girl, it's practically guaranteed she was killed shortly after being kidnapped. The anime does not even slightly make that clear. Because everyone all over social media have been asking. There's a bunch, like, there's even videos about it explaining it. I've seen on like TikTok and stuff. It's not it's not super clear. But the anime instead went with like the emotionally devastating like imagery, music, voice acting, and just generally speaking, artistic visuals that really worked in so many ways and made it hit that much harder. So it kind of sacrificed a little bit of clarity to like improve on everything else. And I think that's worth it because like the clarity can be filled in and everything, but if you sacrifice a lot of the artistic integrity and make it like not hit as hard with again the visuals, the voice acting, the music, you can't really save that. You can't really like fill in the gaps there. It doesn't really work in the same way. So I think it's a fair trade off. And honestly, I don't think it hurts the episode in any way. I think the episode's still like phenomenal. But yeah, so we learn not only about Silky's backstory, but even about Ira's and why she puts on this entire mask of trying to be the best, trying to be super popular, trying to be the main character, basically. It's because of a promise she made to her dead mother when she was a kid and didn't even realize she was dead and thought she was just away. She promised to become someone that her mother could be proud of. Someone who, when she meets her mother again, will be able to look at her and say, that's my girl, basically. And so she took that into being, like, again, super popular, super, like, important, super well loved. Because she just wanted to be the best she could, and that's how she interpreted it. And pretty much everyone's agreeing that it's like, it entirely recontextualizes everything we've seen from her. And it's like, you can't hate her now. If you hate her, you're soulless. It's impossible to hate her with any shred of human decency inside of you. It's like, we apologize, Aira. You can be a main character. You deserve it, honey. And I'm being serious too. I'm laughing, I'm giggling while saying it, because it sounds silly. It sounds goofy. But the execution of last episode was so fucking good that it's like, it's very serious. Like, not only me, but all of us who are saying this kind of stuff on social media and stuff, we're very serious about that. Now, one question, I don't think I asked this last time because I think I was just so devastated, so emotional that I didn't think of it. Um, Ira was given Silky's aura, right? In order to bring her back to life. This means that even though, like, in terms of her soul, her spirit, Silky has passed on, has reunited with her daughter, was able to rest in peace thanks to Aira. But does this mean, since Silky, this literal yokai's aura, was intertwined into hers, does that mean she's going to have powers, like Okarun, because Okarun's powers are tied to Turbo Granny. Her consciousness is in the cat, but her powers, her basically her aura to a degree, or at least that portion of her aura, is in Okarun, which is why he can still transform even though she's in the Lucky Cat. If that is the case, and if this is the same equatable thing, then that also means that she's going to be able to transform, right? Now, like I've said before, I'm anime only on this. I don't know spoilers. I don't want to know spoilers. Do not tell me spoilers. Obviously, I'll figure this out as I go along. When I ask questions and stuff, it's mostly me getting through my thoughts and everything. So just keep that in mind. But I have no idea what's going to happen, because this is a series I actually haven't heard much of any spoilers on. I just know about a couple characters who haven't debuted yet. That's it. I don't know anything about them. I just know what the characters look like and that they exist. I don't even know their names. Including the other one who's in the opening, who we haven't met yet. But yeah, it's like, I haven't heard anything spoiler-wise otherwise for this. And I'm very excited for that, because anything that happens, unless I do end up hearing something at some point, is going to basically catch me off guard, or surprise me, or excite me, because it's fresh, it's unexpected. I didn't even watch, like, the trailers with this. I think I watched maybe one teaser trailer or something, and I like, only watched it, like, one time when it first came out, and I didn't really remember anything about it. If I even watched that, I don't even know if I did 100%. But yeah. I don't know what's going to happen, so I don't know if my theory on Aira is true or not. But it makes sense, right? I haven't seen anything about her having powers, because no one's been spoiling it. Thank you, Dan fandom, for being great about that, by the way. Compared to, like, other fandoms, like the One Piece fandom especially, you're great in that regard. Thank you. But yeah, it's like, it's going to allow me to really, like, experience this series as it airs, as I watch it. So with all of that being said, I know these pre-thoughts are long, but there's a lot I wanted to say here. Let's get into this and see what this episode has in store for us. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about the gaming stuff on the Princess of Gaming channel. We have Baldur's Gate 3 every single day, Horizon Forbidden West every Monday and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays is Life is Strange Double Exposure. Wednesdays and Sundays is Beyond Two Souls. And Saturdays we have Nier Automata. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get to today's video. I do redirect everything just due to copyright reasons. And please, subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. But thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Let's get to today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this seems to be like a whole ass alien invasion, from what we can tell. Because we have the Serpoians back. Although it seems to be a different group than before. The punchy mantis shrimp dude is working with them. And is singing about Chiquita bananas or something. Actually, no. Fuck, that makes sense. Wait, shit. Wait, hold on. I just thought of that. That makes sense. Why? I didn't. I literally did not think about that until now. Because they want the human bananas. Oh my god. But there's also the love child of Godzilla and the Loch Ness monster, and it's just like, all right. I don't know which of this part was more unexpected. Also, is the Godzilla Loch Ness monster thing also an alien, or is that one a yokai? Because that feels like that would be more of a yokai. I don't know. And if so, does that mean we're going to get aliens versus yokai in this one? Is like the Godzilla monster going to come in and like attack them? Right now, it seems like Aira is doing most of the fighting against them. And speaking of, yeah, so my theory was definitely correct, but honestly, obviously, it felt like it was like obviously going to happen. Everything just was set up specifically in that way. And with Aira becoming a main character, it also just makes sense on that front. Honestly, I'm just saying it now. The other dude in the opening, the goofy looking dude, he probably is going to end up having powers too. I'm just I'm assured of that at this point. Though I don't know like what kind of powers it'll end up being. That's kind of up in the air. But Ira has acrobatic Silky's powers. So she has her speed, she has her, well, acrobatics. She can do, from what we can tell, anything that could do. And when she is in this transformed state, she even takes on her voice, which is interesting. Obviously, she has like the half mask, which is very much like what Okarun has with Turbo Granny. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and Ira seemed to kind of like almost subconsciously unlock it. I don't know if she realized she could do that, but she's definitely acting on it. That much is very clear. Um, Now, a lot of this episode centers around Ira kind of like joining the main group and kind of continuing to misunderstand everything. Ira still thinks she's the chosen one, and this transformation is not helping with that. She still thinks Momo is a demon, and she now thinks Momo is controlling Okarun and Seiko, which, alright, that's a thing. She thinks Okarun is a demon, yet she's in love with him, and is like coming up with this fan fiction esque bullshit saying, like, oh no, it's wrong. I can't be in love with a demon. I'm a human. I'm pure. And it's like apparently she was watching her father's sexy videos and stuff, and that's where she got a lot of this idea from. It's like, ma'am, girl, stop. Jesus. Um, Glad to know she's still a weirdo. Fits in with our group, right? But Momo sees a completely misunderstood moment with Okarun on top of her, and I think she's like acting like she's more upset about him lying to her, which she probably is upset about, but she's also very clearly upset because we know she has feelings for Okarun, and so seeing him like on top of her behind a building probably messes her up a little bit. She's, let's be honest, very jealous, and considering how Ira's been acting as it is, probably pretty confusing too. So yeah. Um, One thing I wanted to ask, and I'm asking because I'm hoping someone can like explain to me, or like maybe like give me some context or something. Um, Momo's friend, the other Gyaru girl, who in the first episode had like the 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 Gyaru makeup and everything on, right? she's like not had that makeup in any of the following episodes after like her first appearance. Does anyone know why? Is it like that in the manga too? Or did they like take that off in the anime for some reason after the first episode? Were there like complaints about it or something? Um, did like people not understand like what it was? I feel like in Japan they would. I mean, in America, I know there were people who didn't quite get that. I've seen other reactors and they didn't know like why she had that kind of makeup on. But it's like I feel like why would the anime take that out for that reason though? I'm wondering if it is just a case of like the character, like at least for a time, stops wearing that makeup in the manga too. I'm genuinely curious because I mean I had no problem with it. I'm just wondering if there was some kind of issue that came from it. I want, I wonder because it's like because Gyaru subculture I know is like kind of like almost anti-authority. It's like girls in Japan like kind of forming their own identities through the way they dress, the makeup they wear, etc. Um, and Momo's a Gyaru too, but there's different kinds of Gyaru based on like different time periods, different styles, etc. Sort of like how here in America we have like goths and whatnot. And we have different forms of goths too. We have like pastel goths, we have hot topic goths, all kinds of stuff like that. I wonder if it's if maybe there were complaints from parents who thought it was like spreading some kind of um, rebellious phase in like the kids who would watch this show or the teens who would watch this show or something. They felt it would like cause teens to rebel against authority and everything. I'm genuinely curious. If anyone can explain that to me, I'd really love to know. And I'll see if I can do my own research on it too, because it's just something I've noticed. And if it is just a case of like that's how it was in the manga as well, fine, cool, whatever. I mean, obviously, people in real life can change their makeup styles and stuff at a will. So it's like I'm not worried about it. I'm curious. Um, but yeah, there were some like great shots in this episode. Moving on, I really like that shot that kind of like circled around the door frame and everything. That was so good, and then started like moving along the water. You know, it kind of made me think of like the perspective of like a shark or something, like going after its prey in the water. You know what I mean? It's like it was just like really cool. And then it went up to like the Godzilla monster who actually did like breathe an atomic ray, which is like yeah, that's just blatantly supposed to be Godzilla. It's like yes, its design is also partially like Nessie inspired, clearly. A plesiodon or something like that. It seems to be like what it's going for. I think that's what it's called. Um, it's there's a character like that in the Mario games. I think its name is Plessy. Um, Let me see if I can find it real quick. Plesiosaurus? Yeah, kind of like a plesiosaurus. Let me see if I can find a picture and like kind of show it to you. Ah, here's a good one. I'm gonna have to turn down my screen's brightness. Oop, hold on. Shoot. Okay, let me see if I can show that to you. You see like how it looks there, like with the flippers and everything instead of like feet and all the longer neck and like kind of the like flat but like bulbous in the middle body like that with the tail. That's kind of what it looked like. Um, and that's really interesting. But it was like very obviously inspired by Godzilla as well, and it's like that's an interesting combination, like a marine Godzilla, which is funny because Godzilla's almost always a marine creature already. So it's like, but it's like a unique version of that, and it's just really fascinating to me. Like even like the scales kind of parting a bit and showing like the lights lining it. Like Godzilla's done that in a few variations. I think Shin Godzilla did that specifically, and I think the new one did that too. I think minus one had I think it was the spines. I think the spines glowed in the newest one. Um, I've seen minus one like 2 or 3 times at this point, I think. I should know this a lot better than I do. But yeah, I think it's like, especially like the first time you see in minus one Godzilla use its atomic breath when it's in the middle of Tokyo, which, by the way, phenomenal scene. One of the best atomic breath scenes ever in Godzilla. I think it shows like the spine starting to light up from the tail upwards, and even like pop out of the back, and it's like really cool. But anyway, point is, um, yeah, it's really cool that they would have a very specific reference, because a lot of these references have been based on like Japanese folklore and stuff, but that's like a famous movie reference. You know what I mean? Um, a famous kaiju, and that's a little different in terms of style and tone than what a lot of these have been based off of. Um, but yeah, I really love it. As a fan of Godzilla, it's great. Um, but I'm very interested to see if Ira alone will be able to defeat the aliens, and if not, if I'm just gonna keep calling it Godzilla. If Godzilla's gonna come in and attack as well, or if Momo's gonna somehow get there, or both. What if Momo comes in riding Godzilla? That would be fucking badass. If that happens, I will geek the fuck out. um, this was great though. I like that Ira hasn't like just completely changed. I like that she's still like delusional as fuck, because it feels like it's like that's her personality, that's her character. I don't want her to just do a complete 180, because that wouldn't feel genuine. I feel like if you're gonna have her like move away from that stuff, it has to be gradual. It has to be a little bit at a time. She's going to eventually realize, obviously, Okarun's not a demon, Momo's not a demon, etc., etc. She's going to learn that through working with them, experiencing things with them, etc., etc. Um, and hell, even the fact that she has powers now, like she's gonna make excuses for that. First, oh, I'm the chosen one. This clearly proves that. But she's gonna come to realize it's like, no, this is the same kind of thing that Okarun has. We're pretty much the same. And she'll probably start thinking he's a chosen one too then. But it's at least progress, right? It's something. I think that's how it's going to be. It's going to be little bits of progress at a time that's going to add up, and eventually she's going to become less aggressive towards Momo. She's going to start working with them a lot easier and a lot more willingly. She's going to develop as the series progresses and continues, and that's what I want to see anyway. So yeah, really love this episode. Not as good as the last couple episodes, but to be fair, I didn't expect it to be. Um, the last couple episodes were so fucking good, especially episode 7, that I really did not expect this one to live up to that. I expected it to be a little bit of a drop back down. And that's how shows should work. You have like a really, really fucking good episode. The next one you shouldn't expect to also be on that level. It'd be great if it is, but you shouldn't expect that. Because most shows are going to have like high points. It's going to like start at a certain point and then scale up. It's going to hit that high point and then scale back down and then go back up again. That's how a lot of shows do it. And a lot of time, like mid-season finales, final season finales, not final season, you know what I mean. Mid-season, end of season finales, season premieres, stuff like that are usually big high points. Um, and you could almost say last episode almost was a mid-season finale because it was pretty much mid-season. So yeah, it works. It works in that regard. And I didn't expect this to follow that up with the same level, but it's still great. It's still a fantastic episode. If the last one was a 10 out of 10, this is still like a 9 out of 10. I mean, pretty much this entire series has been at least a 9 out of 10. Um, and I will say, the last thing I'll say is I do like that they're at least doing equal opportunity shit here. It's like in the first episode, when we first see the Serpoians, Momo gets assaulted by them and everything. This episode, the same thing is happening to Okaroon. And interestingly enough, Okaroon actually shows a lot more skin than Momo did, which is kind of an interesting turnaround. I still don't like it, and you're not supposed to. Like I said in the first episode, you're supposed to be disgusted by this. You're supposed to be upset by it. It's not a good thing, and the Serpoians are evil. They are fucked up, they are evil, they are rapists. You are not supposed to like what's happening on screen. And it very much portrays it as such. It portrays it as being inherently, entirely negative. And I like that. I like that it's being portrayed that way. I still wish it didn't show it, of course. It's still a little gross. Because it's still like depicting that kind of thing in the first place. But at least it's showing it in a 100% fully negative manner. To where it's like, it's made very clear that you're supposed to be horrifically disgusted by it. I will give it that. And again, at least it's also equal opportunity. Because a lot of these shows will just do this with female characters and never do it with a male character. Because fan service, basically. But at least this one is making sure that both Momo and Okaroon face this kind of bullshit. They shouldn't have to, and we wish they wouldn't, but, you know, still. It's, I think, my one weakest point of this series. I just feel like they could have, like, done something else. Or they didn't have to go as far as they did with it. But at least it's being, like, presented in the right context and everything to make it feel less iwi than it could be. But that being said, let me know your thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you think of the sudden return of the Serpoians, the mantis shrimp punchy dude, Godzilla, and of course Aira's transformation. And like I said, no spoilers. Do not spoil me on anything. For next week, next Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the U.S. My family does celebrate it. So next Thursday, I will not be able to get to Dan. I will be getting to it on Friday, though. Black Friday. It's just, everyone will be here on Thursday. I literally will not be able to. But I will get to it on Friday. So we're still going to get to Dan next week. It's just going to be a day late. I can't get to it a day earlier because it doesn't come out till Thursday. I literally can't. So it's going to have to wait till Friday. But it will still happen next week. Everything else next week should be good. The issues that we were facing during this week should be resolved, like, ASAP. So, should not be an issue, hopefully much longer at all. And we'll be able to move on, and next week should be all good. good. So, that all being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts, but no spoilers. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.